Auckland Chamber of Commerce.
I think what we did this month is we looked much more closely at the net between those who were positive and those who were negative. The other thing that we did is we've looked at a wider economic zone, so from Taupo through to Northland. Interesting for Auckland, still really flat, only 18% net believe that the economic conditions are going to improve. So that's not a very positive outlook. When you look outside the economic zone and look at areas like Northland, who are our neighbours, we're looking at a 1% net, and areas like Rotorua down as low as 6%. So there's a lot of negativity out there, and I think that there's probably a lot of casualties still to come from the small medium business sector. One of the other questions that we ask is about the limiting factors for growth, and demand remains one of the the most significant factors, and it's always going to be that because New Zealand's a relatively small economy. So I think always expect demand, but I think it's also saying that a lot of New Zealand companies have actually spent a year in 2009 going through and thinking that this is going to be a tough period following the global financial crisis, and then they've gone into a second year. So instead of just 1 year, they've had 2 years that they've had to fight, and I think many of them are now doing a lot of profitless business and they're just surviving out there. I think a lot of businesses have also curled into the fetal position and just doing nothing. And they really should stop and look at themselves. The opportunity to go out to market, to build their business and to approach it positively rather than passively has to be a challenge for businesses. I think the other area that is of interest to us is the fact that already we're starting to see signs that finding people with the right skills are particularly difficult. So if I look in Auckland, only 8% of the 1,000-odd businesses that we surveyed then were having difficulty finding right people, right skills. That's already up to 18% in Auckland. When I have a look at the economic zone outside of Auckland, so look at our neighbours in areas like Rotorua, the Waikato and so on, that's up around 23 and 24%. So the issue of skills is starting to raise its head already. And I think employers should stop and think about investing in their people, about training, about education, those sorts of things, building up some skills in their own organisations, because finding them in the future is going to be difficult. I think one of the things a business really does need to look at is those things that are out in front of us, of which we're going to be able to leverage for good business. And many people are hugely dependent on Rugby World Cup 2011. And whether we like it or not, you're going to have 80,000 credit cards visiting this country. Business is going to have to make up a decision to take advantage of that. They've already taken advantage of other leverage and legacy opportunities. The building of the stadium here in Auckland and other stadia around New Zealand where the event is going to be held. So they've already got benefit from that. The only benefit really left is going to be some development in Auckland on the wharf, but the big thing is going to be those visitors, the credit cards that they bring, the spending that they can do. What should be concerning businesses is that after Rugby World Cup 2011, there's nothing. So we've got a void, and I think it's one of the things that we should be expecting from our government, that there's better long games out there, that we've got a lineup of major conferences, major events, major activities that are going to continue to feed this economy. But when you look, 2011's a blip. After the blip, there's not much.